How's it going, crypto community? It's Jade, the XRP Martian, back with another article. It's been a while since I actually did an actual article, right? I've been so focused on doing my own research, covering things that people dug up for me, that I haven't really gotten to an article. Now, this article, I didn't find it myself, so gotta give a shout out to XRP Crypto Wolf over on Twitter. If you don't follow Crypto Wolf, you can follow him at XRP Crypto Wolf. Great source of information. He's always on top of providing things as they come out, and he blows me up, honestly. Between him and XRP Legend, if I didn't have those two, I'd probably be outside the loop, right? So go give them your support, show them your love, give them that follow. And while you're out there, if you want to stay up to date with all my content that I'm sharing out here on Twitter, follow me at Jade Martian. All right, so with all the plugging out of the way, let's hop into what this article is about, which is the title. And that is that the Fed is now looking or considering to launch the instant payments network, which will rival the private network that is being implemented by Wall Street, it says here. Now, the article that in question is coming from Politico, and that they talk about how Federal Chair Jerome Powell has sent a letter to lawmakers defending the idea of an upgraded network, which would aim to support instant transactions for individuals and businesses. Now, currently, the Fed operates a payment network that sits alongside the network which is run by banks and credit card companies, but it is underpinned by outdated technology that does not support instant 24/7 transactions. Blockchain? Well, in a direct quote, Powell said, "We've not made a decision on this, but it's something we're looking at carefully, and it's something I do expect we will make a decision on soon." And this was made in a statement last Wednesday. Now, as noted by the Wall Street Journal, a new Fed-run network that would rival a network launched in 2017 by financial giants including Citigroup and JP Morgan. Y'all know what that one was, right? JPM Coin and its Quorum network. Pardon me. Well, banks say the initiative could delay some institutions from adopting real-time payments because they might wait for the central banks to launch its new network rather than link up to existing private options. They are also concerned that the Fed could undercut them on pricing. How could they undercut JP Morgan's? Who's cheaper than JP Morgan in the blockchain fintech industry that's going to offer instant real-time settlements 24/7? We don't know. Well, still, the Fed counts a number of lawmakers on its side, including Senator Chris Van Hollen of Maryland and U.S. presidential hopeful Elizabeth Warren from Massachusetts. So, quoting Senator Van Hollen, "The cost of the slow payment system are borne by American consumers, especially those who have to live paycheck to paycheck. It's a mistake to entrust this system to the big banks." All right, well, that's the article here on the Block Crypto. And again, this is, I believe it's a combination of two articles, both from Politico and the Wall Street Journal. But, I want to go to Politico actually real quick just to dig through this to make sure real quick that they're not saying any blockchain here specifically, right? But the idea is that, here, Powell's comment will likely escalate tensions with big banks that have invested more than $1 billion in launching their own faster payments network under the clearinghouse's payment company. So dig deeper a little bit here. At the press conference on the Fed's latest interest rate decision Wednesday, Powell said public comments were overwhelmingly favorable to the idea of the central bank building its own system, adding that it wouldn't be unusual for the Fed to operate alongside the private sector in payments. So, again, that goes right to the quote that we have from the article. And he made, in his July 26th letter, Powell said the Fed had identified significant challenges that private sector services will likely face in offering equitable access for faster payments to thousands of banks across the country. quoting him directly, saying, "We expect that a single private sector provider of such services is unlikely to connect to the thousands of small and mid-sized banks necessary to yield nationwide reach, even in the long term." So this is interesting because it's almost as if the Fed is talking directly about JPM coin and its Quorum network, as I said, right? They don't say it directly here, and I doubt that the Wall Street Journal article mentions this outright. Even if they could, I guess I can't see it here. Stupid Wall Street Journal having its articles all blocked and me not having access to them, blah, 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 right? But, so I can't read through the Wall Street Journal article myself. But it does mention here at the top, Facebook, talking about Facebook launching its new cryptocurrency, and also mentioning Alibaba and Tencent Holding having been working on their own. So it's obvious that that the overall narrative here is talking about cryptocurrencies and digital assets, even if they're not talking directly at any one network in particular. Cough, cough, XRP, right? But it's well documented at this point, as I and others in the space have covered, that for starters, that Ryan Zagone, member of Ripple's board, has worked with the Faster Payments Task Force, right? So direct connection to the discussion, the topic brought up by Jerome Powell. And we also know that Ripple has met with the Trump administration. Now, whether that means they met directly with Trump is up to debate, but I think if you meet with the administration, you're meeting with the man himself too, especially on something of this scale and magnitude, and that could have this dramatic of an impact on, I don't know, say his re-election, right? Let's think about this for a minute. Anybody out there wanting to deny? I know there's a few organic fudders out there that will disagree and say, "Yeah, Matt, well, we have pictures of Ripple executives in the Oval Office." And you can actually go check those out on anybody that's a part of Brad Kimes' Investment Perspectives Telegram group. You can go in and look at the images, and I'm sure that's been retweeted reshared a few times in there, because it's pretty cool to see somebody from Ripple literally standing in the Oval Office. If you're standing in the Oval Office, let me just give you a heads up. If you're in the Oval Office, guess who else is in the Oval Office with you? Yeah, the dude whose office it is. That's not just the administration. Just gonna say that, right? Just want to clear the air for anybody out there that thinks that it's just hype that Ripple executives and Ripple staff have met with Donald Trump. Okay, so this also is coming out on the tail end of us finding out that there's going to be a hearing regarding the banking industry tomorrow, starting at, I believe it was 12:30 Eastern time, 12:30 in the afternoon Eastern time, and that Alex Cobb is actually going to cover that. I won't be able to do a live stream myself. I won't be present. I'm going to be on the road all day tomorrow. So anybody who wants to go watch that, go check it out. I can't wait to watch it on my way as soon as I get the chance. At any point tomorrow, if I get the chance, or maybe next day or so, to actually go back and look at it, see what we hear. But this seems to be creating the layup, so to speak, to introduce some platform that is going to be utilized by the Fed to make payments instant and to ensure payments can be done 24/7, as opposed to the traditional 5-day weekly banking cycle that we're accustomed to. And fun fact, anybody out there who's wondering why it is that you can only trade stocks 5 days of the week, same reason. It's because the banks aren't open. Or they aren't processing, rather, on the weekends. So this system is going to have profound implications, not just on as the article pointed out, the people who live paycheck to paycheck, but also upon the traditional stock markets if this system is integrated into those as well, which feeds into obviously why it's so exciting to hear that the Intercontinental Exchange, the ICE, which is the parent company of, I think it's the New York Stock Exchange. It's either New York Stock Exchange or It's New York Stock Exchange, I believe. But why the stock exchanges are wanting to get involved with this system so that they can probably start opening up the stock markets to be 24/7 as well. So again, that's speculation. There's nothing talked about that yet, so that's just me going out. Reaching a little bit on why we could be seeing these moves being made, because there's profits to be made. And when it comes to blockchain companies, blockchain technologies, who are at the forefront of offering cheap, rapid, and energy efficient and secure and protected, permissioned networks, well, nobody is currently beating Ripple and their digital asset XRP. It's just, there's nobody in existence. There's no blockchain in existence. There's a lot of people out there that will tell you that, their blockchain is best blockchain, or that XRP is not the best blockchain. And unfortunately, while there are a few small caveats to what as far as downsides for XRP, the permission thing being one of them. So the idea that even though this is a decentralized network, it is the most centralized of all the blockchain models that are currently present, other than literally straight centralized blockchain networks like JPM Coin, right? But the idea is that that's the biggest detractor from XRP, is that it's centralized in the fact that existing members of the nodes get to have a say in who starts their own node up. Now, the beauty of this is because these nodes are being operated by and large central banks and banking, financial institutions in general. They have conflicting interests because they're competitors. So they are not going to, just agree to do something unless it is in the benefit of the overall ecosystem, which is really important. And the good thing about this system, right? Getting a little bit off here, but I'm wanting to drive home why I really truly believe that what they're talking about is XRP's network, is because it's truly just the most efficient. It's the cheapest, it's the fastest, and it's the most energy efficient. And because of the way that it's permissioned, it actually makes it safer to ensure that it stays decentralized, because you do not have the incentive like a proof of work concept such as Bitcoin has, where it's a matter of who can get the most mining power and who can capitalize on the most mining power, which causes the network to then become centralized. The incentive system of Bitcoin causes its network to become centralized over time. This is why China currently controls over 70% of the Bitcoin network. This is a big issue. A lot of people in Bitcoin don't realize that they're holding a centralized asset because, there's a larger distribution of our coins across the network. Well, cool. Who cares how centralized your coins are? Because the coins are not how you determine what you can do with the network versus what you can't. What changes you can make. Technically speaking, if China wanted to, they could grab control of the whole network and then force the code to double how many Bitcoin are available total. Yes, they could do that. They could change the underlying code, fork the entire Bitcoin chain, and because they control the majority of the mining power, they can say whatever they want to do with that network. Didn't think about that, did you? Most people out there most Bitcoiners out there only think about 51% attack. But there's a lot of bad things that can occur because of the fact that, technically speaking, Bitcoin is a centralized network now within China. So, this is why Bitcoin will never be used over another digital asset that can avoid that centralized pitfall, which causes existential risks to anybody who is outside of that centralized scheme, right? So, this is why I deeply believe that it is XRP they're talking about, because even though there is this one little caveat, this one little way that from a technical standpoint, it's more centralized, but from a in practice standpoint, it's actually more decentralized, right? So there you go. I hope you all enjoy the presentation that's going to be coming out tomorrow from the Fed. I really am super upset that I'm not going to be able to watch it myself, but hopefully y'all can share with me any like little cool snippets. Hopefully there'll be plenty of stuff on Twitter for me to create content for you as soon as I'm able to actually get back on my computer and create another video for you guys. But apologies ahead of time. This is probably my last video that you guys are going to see for at least the next 2 days. So, you know, kind of want to provide my speculations, a little bit more extra content than normal about what I think this is entailing. You know, maybe tomorrow's going to come along, nothing's going to happen, and it's all speculation, it's all out the window. But hey, I'm not going to be here tomorrow to provide my insights, so this is my insights now based upon what I think is going to occur, based upon the current news that's cycling around the internet, and, you know, namely the Wall Street Journal and Politico, who are not traditional crypto news outlets, right? So, with all that said, I hope you've enjoyed my content. If you have, be sure to hit that like, and if you're new, don't forget to hit the subscribe and ring the bell so you can stay up to date with all my newest crypto content. As always, I've been Jade, the XRP Martian, and I can't wait to see all of you, my Martians, in my next video on Mars.